Hi, my name is Cherie Yanek, Churchill Librarian. Today we are here to read to you Clarence's Big Secret. This book is written by Christine MacGregor Cation and Roy MacGregor and illustrated by Mathilde Cinq-Mars. So this book is for anyone who has ever had a secret and anyone who's thought that they're too old to learn something new. And this book proves that really you're never too old. Clarence's Big Secret. This is the very real story of Clarence Brazier, who was born a long time ago on a farm deep in the Canadian woods. For nearly 100 years. Wow. Clarence had a big secret. Clarence was the third of 7 children. The boys, all 6 of them, slept in one room, 3 to a bed. So there were 3 of them in this bed. On cold winter nights, Clarence always nabbed the warm spot in the middle. In the morning, he would let his brothers go to the outhouse first. That way, the seat would be warm for his turn. Clarence is always thinking. Clarence was big for his age and strong. By the age of 6, he was milking the cows, harnessing the workhorses, Boxer and Biddy, and carrying heavy bales of hay. Aww, look at him and that horse. On his first day of school, Clarence eagerly took a seat in the front row with the other first graders. Welcome, said the teacher with a smile. Sure that Clarence belonged in grade 3 because of his size, she asked him to stand and spell his name. Clarence didn't know the alphabet yet. As he stood there frozen, some of the students began to snicker. And that was that. Clarence burst from his seat and ran all the way home. How do you think he felt? Everyone's laughing at him and he doesn't know something? Right? That's not a very kind thing at all. Clarence would never attend school again. Soon after that first day, his father was blinded in a terrible accident. I will take care of the farm, Clarence vowed. And so he did just that. By the time he was 7, Clarence was doing his father's chores as well as his own. The two made extra money by cutting trees to sell for firewood. Clarence would choose a tree, he and his father would cut it, and then Clarence would guide his father to safety before the tree fell. Barely into his teens, Clarence went to work as a logger. His winters were spent felling trees. In the spring, he nimbly guided logs downriver to the mills. The men in the bush camp loved having Clarence around. On long winter evenings, he taught the men how to square dance, clacking spoons to keep the beat, and calling out the steps. Some of the men would even tuck tea towels into their belts like skirts so they could dance the ladies' parts. The owner wanted to make Clarence boss of the bush camp, but Clarence was terrified the job would expose his big secret, so he quit. Do you know what his secret is? Right? Clarence headed north to work in the gold mines. One day, a young woman caught his eye and so distracted him, he ran his bike into a ditch. I thought that was a big snake, Clarence said, pointing to a twisted branch on the road, so I pulled over to save you from it. Clarence's ridiculous explanation made Angela laugh. They began courting and soon decided to marry. Clarence didn't want to keep a secret from Angela, so just before their wedding day, he plucked up his courage. I have something to tell you, he said. But first, please promise that you'll never tell anyone. Angela promised, and then for the first time ever, Clarence shared his secret. Clarence did well at the mine, and soon the boss offered him a promotion, even though it meant more money. Clarence feared his secret would get out, and he quit. Clarence needed a job where his secret wouldn't get in the way, so he and Angela bought a farm and began to raise crops and animals and a family. They had 4 daughters. They were good farmers and so successful, they even had an indoor toilet. So definitely was not the norm in those days. Years passed. The girls finished their schooling, married, and had families of their own. Clarence was a wonderful grandfather. He told stories, sang songs, played harmonica lullabies for the little ones. He gave piggyback rides. And when his grandchildren were old enough, he taught them how to cut firewood and prune raspberry bushes to produce the biggest, juiciest berries. Yum! He sounds like a great grandfather. Shortly after her 80th birthday, Angela passed away. She and Clarence had been married for 65 years. Clarence was heartbroken and worried. With Angela's help, he had hidden his big secret for 93 years. It was Angela who made the lists and done the shopping, handled the mail and paid the bills, written the letters and signed the report cards, all because Clarence didn't know how to read. So that was his secret. Clarence needed to find a way to live on the farm without Angela's help, so he came up with a plan. He would teach himself to read. His first school books were junk mail. He took sales flyers and matched pictures, bicycles, lawnmowers, frying pans to the words beside them. Since he couldn't make a shopping list, he cut labels off packages at home and matched the items on the grocery store shelves. That's a pretty creative way of teaching yourself how to read, for sure. One day, his daughter Doris found him studying a flyer and mumbling to himself. "What are you doing, Dad?" she asked him. Clarence had no choice. For the second time in his life, he shared a secret. Doris had been a school teacher. "Would you like me to teach you how to read?" she asked. Clarence said he would, and so he became his daughter's oldest student. "My best student ever," Doris boasted. Clarence learned quickly, and then he read and read and read. He devoured books. He pored over newspapers. When he turned 100, he read all the cards he received. Best of all, Clarence went back to school to read to students and tell them his story. And people listened. They were amazed to hear about the man who learned to read when he was nearly 100 years old. Once again, Clarence was the biggest person in the class, but this time, no one laughed. I wish they hadn't laughed that first time. So this is a picture of Clarence. I love this book. There's another similar book called about Mary Walker learning to read when she was old as well. So I hope you enjoyed this book, Clarence's Big Secret. I really loved it. I think it's just really a special story, also about the power of dedication when you put your mind to something. Thank you so much for listening, and keep on reading. Never give up.